Abani Ghani, everyone. This is Professor Rahh, Professor Emeritus, California State University Africana Studies Department, former city councilman for the city of Compton, former Compton College Board of Trustees, and former Compton Unified School District Board of Trustees. Founder of the Black World Institute, a research center based upon video and audio historical documentation of our struggle, our achievements, and what we call the excellence of us as a people. Second, my co-host, Joe Hembrick, is not with us tonight so far. He may join us later. He's a former Compton Unified School District administrator and teacher, counselor, as well as Linwood Unified School District administrator and first Black head coach for varsity football. And he's a historian that has studied our history, the ancient spirituality, and the ancient social civilization of us as a people. We want to welcome our panel this evening. First, Brother Ahi out of Detroit, strong brother, keeping us informed of what's going on in Detroit. And then our brother Mshinda out of Louisiana, keeping us informed what's going on in the South. And brother Rashaki Maskani, who is the basic provider of this platform under the CEN show, Community Education Network show, that comes on tomorrow night. And hopefully you will join him. He'll tell you about that at the end. But Rashaki is a longtime activist, a former star basketball player for Cal State University of Long Beach, and one who has decided to provide a platform where we discuss critical issues and deep thinking about us as a people, called the CNN show, with providing a platform for the Conscious Corner. So we want to get started. There's so many issues we are facing. Well, there are issues, but we're handling it all. We're resilient people, and we got to look at that. First, we're going to start with good news. There's so many things that's going on with regards to good news. We have to look at it and really look at our achievements, look at our generosity toward people, the beautiful things that we do as African people to show love toward each other and to contribute to our forward flow for progress as a people. And as I said, of generosity and giving back to the community, a number of people are doing that, and we want to express our deep appreciation for that type of love. We're going to start with Brother Ahi. Are you there? You got any good news for Black people? Any achievements that's going on in Detroit? I know they had a massive shooting out there. Did you get any info on that?
No, just what the general info is. It's just so much happening out in Detroit. It seems like our young people, when we get together, man, we just our social skills are lacking. Our just being around each other, we just don't know how to be around each other and enjoy and celebrate. Even though I don't know, what we celebrating on the 4th, but I haven't talked to anybody with any extra information concerning this shooting, which was tragic.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other way to look at it. And I've just had the news like you and no more information than somebody in another state. Yeah, as far as that's concerned.
Did they have students graduating in Detroit and going to college, winning scholarships, or?
We, in spite of it all, yes, we have scholars here in the city of Detroit. We have, in spite of them decimating our public school system, we still have every profession. Our intelligentsias are coming from every high school institution. in Detroit. We do have outstanding schools that are above super schools, if you would, the other public institutions. But the teachers who we just throw to the wolves, who have to be not only academics, but counselors and social workers and health work in the health department to deal with these people, deal with our young people. We throw them to the wolves, but they're still in there fighting. We still have a small group compared to our larger population that are fighting and doing excellent things here in the city of Detroit. And I'm glad to see my younger cousins, medical school, engineers, attorneys. Yeah, we still getting it in. You know, Black excellence is, in spite of it all, it's gonna happen.
Good.
Yeah, the only thing, the issue is this: we're not really educating our own, unless it's just happening in the home. Our private institutions are under attack constantly, that are African centered, and but in spite of that, we standing strong and pushing on.
Okay.
So that's still good to see.
Good.
In spite of it all.
All right. Good. Mshinda, you there? Mshinda?
I'm here. How you doing this morning?
You got any good news and major contributions of Black people this out of the South that you read about or heard about?
Well, I know there's Louisiana State University, which is probably 90% white institution, and they have a Black president of the college. You know, and he's been there. I think he's been there over a year. They just extended his contract for 3 more years, and he's making about 800,000 a year. So and he's probably, like, I don't know if he's even 40 years old, and but so that's good news on the Black front. You know, as far as his politics and what he stands for, I don't have a clue about that. A lot of times, this governor that we have in Louisiana, he's doing a whole lot to try to control the narrative and the agenda. So he's seeking power. And I know you asked a question about what's positive, but I just mentioned that. But I mentioned that with caution because I need to do a little more research in terms of who these people are that he's appointing. Which but again, for his personal sake, and I mean, it's kind of like Obama becoming president. We can be critical on a lot of fronts with that, but the fact that a brother is showing up, that might inspire other sisters and brothers to pursue higher levels. And then also the Louisiana Community and Technical College System. The governor appointed a brother. He's chairman of the board of the system board. The chairman is a brother that's been appointed for that, and I understand that he's a pretty good guy. So I guess that needs to be celebrated. Hopefully something good will come out of that. But again, on the flip side of that coin, the governor is trying to, control the chairs of all the major boards of all the college systems. There's about 2 or 3 colleges. We have at least 3 or 4 college systems in the state, and he wants to be able to control who's on the boards of those, which has a lot of influence on presidential appointments, chancellors, things like that. So anyway, that's those are 2 things that I can report. There's, knock on wood, that nobody has gotten killed in the last month or so, or 2 months here in town. It's been a rash of killings, in the past, and they've actually caught a few of the, brothers that were involved in that. There's some pretty serious stories about these young brothers that's out there doing what they do. Unfortunately, they lost and turned out, as the whispers say, and 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 I mean, it has turned into something serious. But so I mean, so I guess those families that were affected can put some closure to some, to a certain degree on the, the fact that the perpetrators were caught. Now on the other side of that, I wish the young men well. Hopefully, I don't know. That's just when you kill somebody or been accused of that, it's a terrible situation. So I hope that there, anything, any silver lining or anything positive that can come out of any of this, that's all I hope for, but it's some deep scenarios. But that's it for right now.
Lynda, you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm just listening and learning. Yes.
What's going on in Florida?
Well, the only good news I can tell you is the hurricane passed, the first one, because y'all know this is our hurricane season, and it went on went to Texas. But as far as the what else I have to report is something is not as major as what you all are talking about. But the only black HBCU in South Florida, which is Florida Memorial, and that's one of my undergrads. And we got a new interim president, a black man. He's also an Alpha Phi Alpha and a good friend of mine. He just was selected as the interim president of Florida Memorial College.
That's good, excellent
That's part
news.
of Florida Memorial University now.
Mm-hmm. Couldn't ask for nothing better than that.
His name is William McCormick.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
So now I'll keep y'all updated on it as we make progress with being the only black HBCU in South Florida.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Rashaki, any good news?
Well, I could find good news. I want to.
Not just good news, frontline news.
Well, we're here at this platform where we have Conscious Corner, the CEN show, and Your Money Matters, which I think is coming back soon with a sister making it happen. Along with that, I want to say that there are other platforms that's putting out great information regarding to Black people and Black issues and triumphs. And I want to share one with everybody that's really been having excellent commentary, and people should pay attention to these guys, because the platform is top of the line according to me. I don't know how much weight I carry, but this program is just as good as ours or better. Let me share it with everybody. Not that, but the Level Set Show. I mean, it's brothers from Morehouse College and also a political analyst out of St. Louis. And these brothers I'm talking about, the commentary is excellent, but not too many people know about them. But
when is it on? When is it podcast?
they're usually every Saturday, but they upload it to YouTube. And so they have 39 videos now, as you can see. And also, I feature them on our YouTube channel. So I mean, the shows are excellent. I'm currently listening to the last one, and the information they put out is just top notch. So that's really good news too. So we have other platforms that we're affiliated with that's putting out great information. So I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. What's the name of the show again?
Level Set Show. The Level Set.
And it's on a podcast or Zoomcast?
It's a Zoomcast, but they upload. It's I guess it's only amongst them.
YouTube?
It's on YouTube. And it's on our platform too, on the Community Education Network YouTube channel.
Okay.
Dr. Charles Alexander, one of our team members, is a part of that. Excellent information.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I see his picture. That's who that is. Yes.
Yeah, Dr. Charles Alexander. Yeah.
That's good. All right. First of all, I want to thank all y'all for the report. I just have a few things to share. First of all, we want to show a sense of appreciation for the struggle of the Palestinians, the people standing up, despite of the genocide going on, saying steadfast, holding out for just a reasonable peace agreement. You know, people want to know, why won't they just go along and sign the peace agreement? But what Israel want to do is, the white Israelis want to do is say, okay, we'll give a pause for 6 months or 3 or 4 months, but we're not withdrawing our soldiers, and we're not going to stop the drones from going over. So they can continue to assassinate with their leadership. And so Hamas is saying, look, you know, we can't go for that. And that's one of the reasons there's not been a so-called European peace treaty. You got to remember, with the Native Americans, there were 250, according to Kwame Ture, formerly Stokely Carmichael, 250 treaties that were signed with the Native Americans in North America with white people. The Native Americans kept their part with everyone. America broke everyone. That's where the term forked tongue comes from. And that's where the term, from the white racist standpoint, yeah, we shook hands, but I don't even have no hands. So, you know, I mean, but so for the people to stand up, we always put the people first. That's our teaching in Kawhi philosophy. People come first. We want to say, we appreciate the struggle that the Palestinians is going through, and that their steadfastness in bringing attention to the oppression that they have been under, America, European nations, and so-called Israel. That you know, you got to remember, those Israelis are Germans. And, you know, most of them came from Germany. And so, you know, they are experts in torture and abuse, because they have the same mentality that the Nazis had toward the Palestinians. So that's a very important perspective. I know you may have to edit that out. I don't know if YouTube will play that part, but I just had to say that. But we always praise the people, the Palestinian people, for being resilient, steadfast, despite what they're going through, holding out for a reasonable ceasefire rather than agreeing with what America say. And America asking them to sign a peace treaty, while at the same time they're giving Israel the bombs and the weapons and the technology, the spying and everything to kill the Palestinians, but they're supposed to be talking peace. But, you know, for the Palestinians with other Arab countries and other European nations, from, you know, promising them their help rebuild and all that type of stuff. They said that about the rebellion in LA. They was going to rebuild Los Angeles. And they rebuilt the rich part, but they never really rebuilt the lower part. So anyway, that's one thing. So that's very important. Then, you know, we have to also give praise and thanks to all the students at Columbia, UCLA, UC Irvine, who had massive demonstrations to bring attention to the genocide that's going on. People be saying they're pro-Palestinians. No, they're anti-genocide, but they twist the words around. As Haji Malcolm X would say, El Haj Malik Shabazz, Nana Malcolm X, I mean, he said, they turn the victim into the criminal and the criminal into the victim. And every channel always talking about the hostages. There was a Jewish scholar who said that Israel have shown no proof that any Palestinian sexually assaulted any of the Jewish or the white people that would call themselves Jews in what they call so-called Israel, which is really Palestine. And so that's very important. He's challenging them to bring proof that was sexual assault. Well, anyway, getting back to the other thing, there's a doctor named Fayaki. She's a Nigerian, and she built a trauma center in Houston. A Nigerian doctor came here. She's a doctor here, and she decided to build her own trauma system in the community where it's needed. And I thought that was real good news for her. Second, we got to give somewhat of a recognition to the excellence that you get from the power you get from excellence. For LeBron James to be able to get the Lakers to draft his son on the 55th draft and give him a solid contract, that's power to make them white folks do that. So you gotta throw your hands up. I mean, I ain't into a bunch of sports. I played it. You understand? But I mean, if Doc Rivers carried his son, you know, I mean, it's just a beautiful thing to see LeBron force the Lakers into doing that, to take his son. Most people just looking at it, nepotism and all that. It ain't about nepotism. The word nepotism means nephew. The Catholics had a law against you hiring your brothers and sisters, but so they start hiring their nephews in the church and giving them privileges, and that's where the term nephew came from. But anyway, Chinese, when they open up stores, they hire their kids. But I mean that's what democracy is about. You know, keeping what they call progressive economics. You know, I mean, passing it on to your family. So that was real good from that standpoint. This is really cool. Over 12 government employees in the Biden administration, plus a longtime officer who he just retired, in protest. They all resigned in protest of the Biden administration policy toward the Palestinians. That's heavy, man. I mean, for people to give up their jobs and say, hey, look, you know, I can't work here and watch you, you know, do this to people and call human beings collateral damage. Could you imagine that? Does that make any sense to anybody except white folk? I mean, if you got a liquor sense, you understand. I mean, it's amazing how they can turn human beings into just a number. You understand? Collateral damage. You got over 50,000 Palestinians probably killed because they don't know how many are up under rubble. And they come out as collateral damage. We killed one person, but we after one person, but we killed 50. I mean, that don't even make sense. And to this day, America has not said there's war crimes. Now they accuse Russia of war crimes in Ukraine, but and because they bombed hospitals and killed civilians, but America would not call the white people in Israel. And you know why? Because they're part of it. The United Nations Declaration of Human Rights, 1948, said that you can't, you know, genocide is annihilation of a people, physically and culturally. You can't do that. And not only that, you can't assist in doing that. You understand? In other words, if me and some brothers wanted to rob a store, they wanted to rob a store, and I gave them the guns and the bullets and the ammunition and the information about the bank, they'd come and arrest me as a part of the conspiracy. So if America is giving Israel the bombs, the weapons, and the intel with their satellites and everything else on that means they're complicit. Why are they complicit? Because they're the same. They're the same. It was Ralph Bunche who got the Nobel Peace Prize for negotiating the white Germans to go to Palestine. He got a Nobel Peace Prize for that. A brother, he was a brother. You understand? And when he did that, the Palestinians welcomed him. But then, once they got the weapon, and just like here, America didn't fight their way into, the white people didn't fight their way into America. The Native American accepted them as guests. That's where Thanksgiving came from. They brought them in as guests. And they started building fortresses and coming in with weapons and disease. And the same thing with Africa. White folks didn't fight their way into Africa to colonize them. They came, as one said, missionaries with goodwill. And then they send the Marines, the mercenaries, then the Marines to get resources. But people don't, look, I'm not here to give y'all history lessons, because I take for granted that most of y'all are well learned. But I'm just reminding you of the contradictions that are here today. Lessons of our history. One of the lessons is to learn from our past. Not just forget it, but it's supposed to help you make good decisions for the future. I understand that history is told by the winner of the war, and they can change terms around all the time. Like people say, Columbus was lost. Other people say he was a great explorer. You understand? It's up to you to accept one. But where did the term West Indies come from? It wasn't West Indies until they came. So anyway, that was very important. I thought that. Then we got to give praise to Sister Katangia Brown, although she did something I had an issue with, but I'll talk about that later. She wrote a hell of a dissent of the Supreme Court, granting their white brethren, Donald Trump, immunity. All he had to say was a part of his duties, and he was executing his duty. That don't even make sense. You understand? And he determined what's his duties. Do that make sense? And not only that, they say you couldn't even use evidence that was a part of his executive duty. That's to wipe out his convictions. The others is to just give him immunity from everything that he's done. Right in front of our face. And then you want to say, why kids robbing and killing? They learn from America. It's political gangbanging. The Republicans are red coats. The Crips are blue coats. The Democrats are blue coats. The Crips are red. The Bloods are red and the Crips are blue. Politics is simple. Politics is war without violence, and war is politics with violence. We are all products of this country. Some of us choose not to follow. We come up in hoods, in neighborhoods. We could have hung out with D-Dog, Wild Dog, Willie, Big Willie, Popsicle, and start robbing banks and stealing. But we went a different direction. We may have sat around with them in the parks and stuff like that, but we didn't follow them to our demise. And we lived through it, and we teach our children not to be a part of that. Not to be a part of that. And we sit down and we talk to our daughters. I'm not telling you not to have sex, but I'm telling you to be educated about it. And I'm telling you the challenges if you have a baby and pregnant at an early age. You understand? And the possibility of you not ever being asked to get married. That's known marriage. Based on statistics. And the change of lifestyle. In the South, back in the day, that was a goal, to get married, raise a family. Today, that's not the goal to young men or young women. That's what twerking, long fingernails, tattoos, walking around with no shirt on is all about. You understand? And that's a different mentality. Of course, we had a different economy, agriculture. Everybody worked, kids started working at an early age. Learning domestic, how to cook for their mom and daddy by the time they get home. How to sew your clothes, how to iron, how to use washboards, how to change your little baby sister's diapers. They didn't have Pampers in them days. So everybody, it was a family unit. And everybody worked. You understand? You as a child worked while your parents was at work. They was working for money. You was working for the family. Different values. But at the same time, we grow. Some of us retain that knowledge and that necessity. And we try to pass it on to young people and try to pass it on to our own, sometimes brothers and sisters, to reflect on the best of being who we are. You understand? Our fight for freedom is not just civil rights. It's freedom to be who we are and who we want to be. You have to choose, as we say in Kawaida, Dr. Green, to be African. You have to choose it. I chose my name in 1974. I became a student of Kawaida at that time, but I knew I didn't want to be called Sleepy no more as a professor. And I damn sure didn't want to be called Arthur Montgomery, because his legacy is too wild. You understand? And so so I changed. You don't just change your name. I changed. I chose to be a Black man. You understand? All the womanizing, sexual consumption, drugs, alcohol, nightlife. With age, it cut out. But when you cut it out at a young age, it's discipline. You understand? It's discipline. And finding joy in ethical and principled activities. And being an example for all young people, not just your kids. You understand? So your kids can't see you coming out the dope house or crack house. Or your friends say, man, I saw your pops come out of the crack house. Saw your daddy at the liquor store getting a 40, buying cigarettes. Can't do that. It's discipline. And all you have to do is look at the destruction alcohol and drugs have done to our people. Brother he could tell you about Detroit. Brothers can tell you about Baltimore, D.C. And as Hakeem Mahadi wrote in his book, corners was not made for Black people to hang around. That's serious. So our challenge is not just to fight white people, but to show love, principles, and values toward each other. You know, I mean, that's a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice. You're sacrificing deviant behavior and fun behavior. Everything good to you is not necessarily good for you. You understand? That's what sugar and salt is. Tastes good, but it's not good for you. You understand? So we have that struggle. But anyway, I just wanted to share that. We're doing some positive things. HBCU is coming to the West Coast. They're going to be at UC Irvine as a joint venture. So Black people can go to a HBCU in Southern California, and one in Oakland or in San Francisco. And they already got one negotiated for Drew Medical. So, I mean, they should have did that. Wherever Black people is, there should have been an HBCU affiliate. You understand? Billionaires, Black billionaires. Instead of wanting to get more money, because they invested like historical Black people did. You know, they bought many, paid for the freedom of many Black people that were in the Holocaust of enslavement. They bought them to be their slaves, but they let them go free. And these were free Black people with money. History tells you that. You understand? So, and all I'm saying is that we have a lot of billionaires, multimillionaires. We applaud LeBron James for opening up his school. We applaud Russell Westbrook for building 21 apartments for low-income people. We applaud what Donovan Mitchell has done throughout the Houston and area and things of this nature with regards to his philanthropy and his giving all kind of food giveaways and programs and toys for kids. And we applaud the Black athletes that have taken a mission to use some of their wealth to help their brothers and sisters that's worthy of it. Don't throw money down an empty barrel or hole. You got to show pride. Just like you have children. One's going to school, working. You applaud them. The one laying on the couch trying to get $5 to take the trash out so they can go get some cigarettes. And they ain't doing nothing. But what you tell them to do, you're going to invest in the one that's doing something. So we should always invest. And we pray and help those and counsel those that are not living up to their full potential. But we realize how people get depressed and feel helpless. And the only outlet is the Temptation song in the back in the day. I'm doing fine on cloud 9. You understand? You can be what you want to be. You understand? All of that. So anyway, we live and we learn. And that's the beauty of that. So the discussion tonight that we're going to have, unless anybody have a comment or reflected on anything they want to share.
I want to make a comment, Professor Rahh.
Yeah, bro.
Okay, now I just want to testify this evening because when you go to church, people have testimonies, but life is church to me. And when I met Professor Rahh in, what year was it? I was about 23, 24, I think about 24 years old. So that was a while back. That was late 80s. Matter of fact, I think it was 89, something like that.
Yeah.
But just to give some people some type of information that will possibly help them. when I met Professor Rahh, I began to start looking at life in a different way. And also I could see the love that Professor Rahh have for educating and the transformation that he speaks about himself, how he transformed. And so I stayed in his space and I began to learn other things throughout my life. And it's amazing how when certain people teach you, they don't tell you what to do. They just basically make suggestions. And by me staying in the space for these many years, I've made some transformations. And I've been doing things in a manner that I think I should be doing them. And this is why we have this platform to inform people that you could do things differently and still enjoy life. I know that when I think about things, I have transformed to the point where I even want to get better than what I am now. And I always speak about value system. I have changed my values from non-productive values to productive values. And it's been shown in my life for the past 10 to 15 years. So there is a way to do better than what you're doing, but you have to put yourself in a certain position to grow. And all I can encourage people to do is start changing your value system, because the value system that we're living under, which is a oppressive type situation, anything that you have learned under this system that's non-productive, you need to get rid of. Or I ain't gonna say you need to get rid of, I'm gonna say you should get rid of, because it's not helping our situation. But like Brother Ahi said earlier, people are still struggling through, and you do find successes in Professor Rahh, Brother Mshinda, Sister Lynda, and they all talk about it. But we need to change on a grand magnitude scale. And I just wanted to take my hat off to educators like Professor Rahh, Brother Mshinda, Brother Ahi, and Sister Lynda, because we need it. And we got to keep doing what we're doing until we can't do it. And hopefully it transforms to some other people who want to pick up the mantle. So appreciation for everyone here. All right, Professor Rahh.
Yeah, well, if you listen to the news, they'll have you thinking you're losing and you can't win. They make you think everybody that's doing bad represent all of us. And they, come up with terms black on black crime, the ghetto and all that. But white people kill white people. That never say white on white crime. Hinckley shot Reagan. They didn't say it was racial. You understand? But when it comes up, it's a part of the dehumanizing and degradation and teaching us self-hate. Man, only person did something bad to me is black people. Well, how could you say that? You don't have a sense of history. You understand? You understand? It's not just on the masses. Even the gangs, the street dude, man, I bought this weed from some white people, it's good. It's just like that, man. White man told me that. You understand? Like black people don't tell truth. So, it's the subliminal things that they do. We went to Africa to get slaves. No, you went to Africa to get Africans and you brought them over here and enslaved them. They weren't slaves before you went and got them. They had families, they had civilizations. It may be as most of the herbologist that comes on say we were about nature. The Africans were living with nature. They walk, them and the animals got along. I mean, they worked with them. But anyway, getting back to these critical issues we face as a people, we are way further than where we were. And even though people think we ain't going nowhere, but we made a lot of progress. We humanized this society, and we inspired others to fight for their rights. And once we get them, everybody can get them. That's why the gays use our songs, use our words, our slogans. Women's rights used our slogans. They use us as a model. We want the same rights the Black people fighting for. You understand? Because we are the premier example of people that liberated themselves. Despite white folks talking about Abraham Lincoln did it. Read Lerone Bennett's book, Forced into Glory. He's the first African-American author that wrote about a white president and told the truth about Lincoln, taking the reparations meant for African people and giving them to the slaveholders, those that enslaved us. That's very important, and he got the documents all in his book and the information, So anyway, it's just so much to learn, to feel good about yourself. You don't have to get high, drink, and all that. But anyway, getting back to our point, I ain't talking about municipal use and relaxation use of drugs. I'm talking about the abuse. You understand? Where it causes hallucination, where it causes you to damage yourself and your family. Okay. So anyway, and your neighbors. But anyway, getting back to this, we're in a critical issue. I want to applaud the Black Caucus for standing up for Biden. But I want to get y'all's opinion on, should Biden run again? And do you think he could beat Trump from that standpoint? And what you hearing on the streets, possibly? Or just your own opinion? Mshinda, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
They saying more Black people either not going to vote. They got a third-party vote with Cornel West and Dr. Abdullah. I think they just got on the ballot in Vermont. I think they own 5 ballots. But anyway, go ahead. Go ahead, Machine.
Well, the reality of it is, and not to be pessimistic, but history is, history don't lie. Low voter turnout. We've been a product of low voter turnout. So unless people get out and express their opinions and make their vote, do what they have to do, it's a moot issue. On a personal level, I'm gonna be all right one way or the other because I'm gonna make sure I'm all right. We got 2 Europeans that are running for office, and so you got you gonna make a choice, based on what you believe, what they believe in. You side with what this one say. One's a nut. One's getting older. I'm not going for the fried ice cream. I mean, he's his gears are shifting. And now does that eliminate him for running? No, he's the incumbent, and he's the nominee until further notice. So whether my opinion or not, now should somebody else take over? Again, I have my opinion. My opinion is, if there's somebody that's durable, that can hold the polls and win, against Trump, then so be it. But I'm not a supporter of Trump by no stretch of the imagination. He's reckless and abandoned, and has got some issues, some personal issues. And but Biden, again, the people aren't making this up. His own party, is not making this up. So the dude is slipping, and he's trying to hang on. He has a competitive nature. He's a fighter, that kind of thing. Now I do believe that if he wins, that he has people around him and things like that, advisors and people that's in his cabinet, that kind of thing that's close to him, that's going to kind of watch his back. So I think that you know, for me personally, if I think that it's kind of a toss up. We got, what, 40 days before the convention. So if there's somebody else that can weigh in and do what they do, but I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen. Right now, I don't think anything could happen. It's 4 months to the election. Well, we got August, September, October, November, and so anything could happen. But again, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not so uh, fired up about Biden, but Trump, like I say, he's got some issues that he needs to go sit down somewhere and deal with. But Biden, uh, again, when I cast my vote, if he's there, I'm not going to vote for Trump. That I got friends of mine who's going to vote for Trump that are, I mean, some serious people, just as serious as anybody on this call. And they have their argument. It's they speak from a different space about the whole process. That's what's going on. So I'm not going to get into that tonight, other than it's just a personal choice. You vote for who you want to vote for, but I'm not going to vote for Trump. And like I say, but I'm not a big fan of Biden. But hey, uh, it's kind of like what we've done, what's been going on for the last 4 years, and so forth. I'm kind of like, okay, but again, it's not about me. It's not about me. It's just now for the overall good of the country and the overall good of the world. Hey, I don't know. I don't put no stock in none of them. So, but I will cast my vote. That's for sure. And but the dude is getting older. It's no question. Dude's slipping. And that's all I can say. But I'm
All right.
done with him.
All right, we're gonna come back to you in a minute. Brother Ahi, what you hearing in Detroit?
Brother, the irony of it all, the whole time I've been voting for the presidency, it's been for the lesser of two evils. And both evil. The irony that they're asking people of African descent, or people who are descendants came from El Cuban to save America for the people who are trying to destroy it, who are the recipients of privilege here in America. This time I'm going to vote my conscience. I'm going with Dr. West.
If he's on the ballot in Michigan.
Right. He's on the ballot. I just sent him some money. Anyway, there are a little over 100 million registered white voters in America. I mean, we got about 30 million black folk, 35.
40 probably.
Okay, around 40 million. 74 million white people voted for Trump. That's 3 out of every 4 white persons that's registered to vote. So you can just take for granted that the people that you meet each day or that you work with that are white, the majority of them support this heathen. You got one man that got maybe 3-4 times more accomplished in his administration than this liar whose limited range of knowledge of the world has to do with business. All his decisions are made around business and around privilege and keeping in control for his people. And we want to argue about somebody's age against a straight out liar. I turned that debate off because everything that came out of Trump's mouth was a lie. And Biden was not getting with it. He was slow. Everything, I mean, it was just like, and then America's looking at it like Biden's age is the big issue. I'd rather have wisdom and somebody who has some knowledge about, but that's not where I'm going with this. I just think it's ironic that they're asking us, people of African descent, this country is against us in every kind of way, every type of meaningful, progressive move that we've made. The people in this country have gotten away with stopping our movement. Mm-hmm. The government is getting complicit in killing or discrediting every leader that we picked. Do we want to really continue in this system? How do we know that if this falls, that the next setup or government won't be better? Who's to say we won't be more included in this system? They're destroying their own country. Isn't this? We've been fighting against this country since we first got here. As we first stepped on this land, trying to get, and everybody has been getting. They have received the privilege of our struggle, of our people's struggle here. We're the last ones, even with the benefits of making sure that there's a level playing field. White women benefit from it more than we do. This is just I don't know if I'm more upset with my people. Maybe I'm just not understanding it. But at some time you got to make a stand as a people and say that we just we're not saving y'all from yourself. We have to be more. We have to look more introspective and come within ourselves and improve our situation. And now I don't think we need to worry. I think we need to be more concerned with our local stuff on the international, on the national level. I don't think we're there yet to be concerned with the white men's battles and they whatever they aspire to do as a group. So this is gonna be the first time I actually vote my conscience. Starting with I voted for Carter. That was my first time voting, Jimmy Carter, which was probably one of the few president or the only president since my lifetime who actually had a moral compass. Outside of that, the only other time I voted for somebody I really felt had my best interest in heart was with Jesse Jackson. Mm-hmm. So I'm older now. I want to be at peace with myself and my decisions, and I have to vote my conscience. Remember, didn't nobody think Trump was going to get in either. Mm-hmm. Those white people voted their conscience on keeping y'all in check. We need to be voting our conscience on liberation. Okay. I feel. And that's all I got to say on that.
All right, Rashaki.
Man, I have many thoughts. You know, I talk to many people, hear all kind of commentary about who we should vote for and, you know, for our best interests and all of that. I left voting for the main two people that's running. I stopped voting for those people. It's been some years now. And you know, the way I see things going is most of the times they put in who they want to put in. That's the way I see it. And my thing is not so much them. You know, I vote and I do my best to vote the best way I can with my, you know, with the knowledge I have, which is when it comes to a lot of these politicians, I don't have much information, but what I on the spot read. But I think that I keep going back to what I say that I think we should be doing, and we are doing it. Some of us, we need to be changing our value systems. And when we talk about politicians, we need to begin grooming our own, and coming out of having a camp of what we talk about, Kawita philosophy, ancient African philosophy, things that actually make some type of sense. I want to say this: when they said that former President Trump was running for president the first time, I actually thought that was a joke. I seriously thought it was a joke. And when he became president, I knew that was something that was they put him in office. For him to win that, I think he was put in office because in my opinion, he's a joke. And if we have a joke for a president of the United States, how long will this place last? You know, I know he ain't a joke when it comes to him actually, when he was the president and the things that he was doing, turning all of the people that trust in him against the American system, in which I don't blame them. But when they were being corrupt in that manner, and he was being corrupt in that manner, that just showed us how twisted of a system that we're in. It's illegitimate, and I'm definitely against it. So my thing is we need to change our value systems. We need to change, and we keep fighting to do whatever we can to change this thing, because either one of them doesn't serve the interests of us, in my opinion. One is overt and one is covert. So I'm just, you know, like Brother Ahi said, he got to vote with his conscience now. I've been doing that probably for the past 3 elections. So, you know, and I think I voted, if I'm sure, I voted for Obama, but I wouldn't have voted for him either. But that's just me. You know, I'm one person. I just, you know, I had to make changes in my life, and I encourage other people to make changes in their life.
Okay. Let me just give y'all something to think about. When Trump was elected by 4 states, he lost the popular vote in 2016. He lost the popular vote, as Haki pointed out, with the 70 million. Because Biden got 90 million. Because he had the help of Latinos, women, independents to offset the split, the even split between white Republicans and Democrats. Now, Malcolm X said, when there's a close race, our vote matters. The minority vote matters. Second, the FBI came out against their own policy on Hillary Clinton. a week before there was, right after the debate, just before their last debate. Something that they don't do. They don't interfere or release any information prior to a vote, I think 3 months out or 2 months out. And Coney did that. And then when he wouldn't swear allegiance to Trump, Trump turned on him. But he helped him get elected because most of the feds are Republican. Most police officers are Republican. When you go about the people that got arrested in June 6th, November 6th, I think that was, or January 6th, one of them.
January, yeah.
Yeah, that's when the girl that got shot was a former military person. And there were police officers getting arrested after, and they showed videos of them there supporting Trump. But, you know, we with all of that. And I appreciate what everybody's saying. Y'all made some good points. Excellent. But we're taught from a conscious standpoint, you vote for conditions on a national level. All politics are local. So if you don't vote for the president, that's fine. That's the only office everybody vote for. Everybody else got their own districts, own counties, own cities that directly affect their lives. So you vote for conditions, not the person. Under which president do you think you can continue your struggle and your achievements on a national level? And that would help institutions help you make that progress. So you vote on conditions. That's our philosophy. You can have your own. Vote the way you want. That's what Mshinda said. I agree with that. Vote your conscience. You know, I'm very close with Cornel West and Dr. Molina. You understand? If they make the California ballot, even though I think they're going to carry the Democrats going to carry California, I definitely would vote for Abdullah and West. Even though I know that it would take a hell of a thing for people to vote for them with no political experience, no military experience, and no national agenda. Peace and justice is an aspiration. I mean, you know, aspirations aren't policies. And you still can't do nothing as a president without Congress. Congress spend the money. Senate deals with judiciary things and things of such. That's why it's 6 years to be a senator, only 2 years to be a Congress. There's over 400 Congress people. Out of that 400 Congress people, they're just about split, 200 and some. And there's 9 to 12 Democrats, white Democrats, who have aspirations to run for office, who are in tight races where they're running. Who's calling for Biden to resign? 9 out of 200 and something. The news focusing on Trump. Why? Because the white Jews control the media and the narrative. And they're upset. They believe Trump will help them more in the genocide of all Palestinians and the abuse and deportation of every Latino they can find, legal or unlegal. This man separated families, Trump. And people still vote for him. Convicted of 34 felonies. And white folks voting for him. For the aspirations he giving them, we're going to make America great again. All white, Christian nationalism. Listen to it. White evangelical voting for a man that then paid millions of dollars for sexual assault, which is against their doctrine, for insurrection that's supposed to be against everybody in doctrine, for trying to steal the election by any means necessary, and they still voted for him. These are the same people that voted to keep the Holocaust of enslavement of us forever, for the 200 years. They had a Supreme Court during the 200 years. We ain't oblivious to the bad rulings of the Supreme Court. You know, they act like this is a shock. It's a shock because it's affecting white people. It's not a shock facing us. And anybody that knows their history knows Presley versus Ferguson, the struggle for Brown, the whole concept of sharecropping, deemed legal. I mean, that's history. We learn from our lessons. Yes, I agree with you. You know, I don't mess with no white. I don't mess with white women. I don't mess. One time a white person didn't get close to me to do something, fix a plumbing or do something. You know, I don't go to dinner and play games, you know, with them. I mean, when we was back playing basketball, we had banquets and stuff, and we had white boys on the team. And you know, we worked together to win. And we went to the same recognitions of Aldi and the most outstanding player on the team and all that. Yeah, okay. But I know where we are. And I know who they are. All of them. Even the little babies. They raise them to think the way they think. Now, my point is that we as a people, as Mshinda said, vote your conscience on the national level. Vote your interests and your best for your conditions on the local level. Not one of them is saying we're going to roll prices back. And we're going to investigate every corporation that has raised their prices, from gas companies to food service companies to everybody. But prices have always gone up. I remember when gas was 25 cents a gallon, 28 cents if you got ethyl. You understand? I remember when you can go to the store with a quarter and get potato chips, cookies, and a drink for 25 cents. You understand? But they're talking about prices going up. They always went up. All you had to do is go get some of the old print newspapers with ads. 10 pounds of bag, 10 pounds of potatoes for 50 cents. You understand? Look at the store ads. These people talking all that stuff, prices going up, but they fill up every arena to watch sport games. Poor people. All of them lined up to get in Disneyland. Greed to make you think because I can't do all the things I want to do. You can't find a hotel in Vegas. I mean, these people are insane. You understand? They, as Haki would say, they buy what they want and beg for what they need. You understand? We're in challenging times. And I'm like y'all, you know, you have to hold your nose sometimes and vote. But it's about conditions, not the person. You're voting for conditions to struggle and to be able to bargain to get progress. When we was coming up, we stole from white folks and gave to the neighborhood. The bread truck came, we went and got all the bread in the back of the thing. Went and gave it to the neighbor. Didn't sell it, just, hey, here's 2 loaves of bread. We got the sodas, we ran down the street with when the 7-Up man, Coke man came to the store, we went and got cases and ran down the street, gave it to the people. We couldn't drink all that shit. We were just doing stuff. We didn't know it was a subconscious influence from our ancestors and our conditions of being deprived. That's why we go out doing the rebellions and take stuff. For the history of abuse. And they be telling, oh, we just marauders, we just looters. No, those are reparations. You understand? That's our appropriations to ourselves. Now, some don't see it that way. The Christian Black people, they turn themselves in and get the stuff back. But the street brother, hold on. You understand? Say, no. But anyway, this was a good discussion. And I really learned things about, you know, how we think and what we got to do. And it's just beautiful to have this platform, Rashaki. You understand? I'm not able to do a lot of things I used to do. But I can come on here and engage with knowledgeable people that are conscious of their surroundings. And they tell us what the people are thinking on their part of the time. And I can share it with my kids and share it with other people, share it with my posts on Facebook, speak to the nation. You understand? I post so much stuff, I don't even know. You know, as soon as I read it, if it's positive and it's about us winning, I post it. If it's about us exposing the hypocrisy then I post it. And I'll do it publicly. I don't say just friends. Oh, everybody. Because I know I'm going to get to some people that it may make them think. You understand? So you teach all the time. You teach all the time. Take advantage, as Brother Hood would say. You know, we take advantage. So Rashaki, what about tomorrow? To close us on out.
Yes, sir. Appreciate everything. This is really a good resource. I'd like to thank Brother Rahh for showing up and coming and hanging out with us, which is a good thing. And Brother Mshinda is always here with us. Hopefully, Brother Rahh will keep coming back.
Oh, you will.
But let me share who we have tomorrow. Right here, we got Brother Tim Tyson coming back. And the topic is the untold truth about retirement / your home. So we get another lesson about that from Brother Tim Tyson.
Something we need to know. Economic and our future wealth.
Yeah.
Generating wealth for our family. Go ahead.
Oh, yes, that's what we have tomorrow. So we're going to take our pause. Each one teach one in Conscious Corner. Keep coming back.
And Rahh, whenever you're ready to express yourself, brother, just let me know. You can get any of my nights.